It's just bipolar, you know? You get
Crazy.
the hot days, the cold days, the snowy days. I mean, 85 degrees here in Maryland. Let us know in the comments, those of you hopping on live. Happy Monday. Let us know what's the temperature where you're at. And don't give us Celsius because Julie and I are American. We don't know what Celsius is. Although you actually might know. I have no idea. I'm like 25 degrees Celsius. Is that cold? Warm? I don't know. Probably warm. Maybe not. But I'm really excited because we're going to talk about I'm going to make sure we're live real quick too. If you could let us know in the comments, smash the heart button if you see us, if you hear us. Yes, looks like we're live. We're going to talk today about what's working on social media to get attention. Is it controversy? Is it consistency? Is it lives? Is it reels? Is it before and after pictures? Should you be real spammy? Should you use attraction marketing? What should you do? How can you get attention? How can you stand out? So we're going to bring it to you fast and furiously, as we typically do. So if you go, John, you talk fast, you got to listen fast. Plus, remember, you can always go back and watch the replay, okay? So our goal is to help you go from average to savage in your business on Money Monday with my good friend, Julie Reynolds. If you don't know Julie, well, let me tell you, she is a top earner. She's a mom, a wife, a boss. She's built her brand. She's got a huge YouTube following, a YouTube course. In fact, she's crushing it on all things social media. What's your number one platform for like attention? Would you say it's TikTok or is it something else?
It's probably TikTok. So
TikTok
is really good for going viral right now.
Yeah.
Still really good for brand building and going viral.
It is funny because it got hot. And then it was like something kind of happened. I don't know if it was just like the fear of like it getting shut down, which again, it sounds like that's, the rumor again, they're going to get, but it's like it went away and then everybody kind of came back to it. And now it's like I feel like the last year, it's been like the hottest platform for, like you said, for leads, getting like new people to discover you. So let's get into it. Let's talk about, okay. So, and it's funny, just so you guys know, I was like in the hot tub outside like 90 minutes ago. Julie and I were talking. I'm like, hey, by the way, you want to hop on Money Monday? Because I want to talk about like getting social media attention. And I'm pretty good at social media, I'd say. But I'm not really I don't create the kind of content that attracts the masses. My content is more specific to network marketers. And even though I feel like it's great for that purpose, it's not going to attract 97% of the population, where Julie has tapped into that 97%. She's got a couple different, I guess you could say, niches that she's tapped into, and it's working really well for her and her team. She's got people on her team that are building personal brands and have their own communities and their own kind of niche that they're tapping into. So, and she was just in Dubai with some of the best marketers in the world. She's in Fraser Brooks' inner circle, one of the best marketers in the world. So she knows her stuff. She's having personal success. Her team is crushing. And she's also just very knowledgeable when it comes to the network marketing and social marketing, social media sphere. So I think this is what all of us want to know, right? How do we get attention? How do we stand out? How do we, get people to pay attention to our stuff? And I know I had Cindy Curry on here last Monday. She made a pivot maybe 8 months ago, went from 3,000 followers on IG to 211,000 followers. So any one of you could be like a Julie. Any one of you can be like a Cindy. And I've had a lot of people on here that, they are doing kind of their own style of content and it's working for them. But what you'll also notice is there's also a lot of similarities. So, all right, Julie, let's get into it. Let's talk about first, what is the thing that's working best for you? Is it TikTok? Is it short form video in general? Let's talk about that.
So what's working really well for me, so if you go over on my TikTok, I have 250,000 followers at this point right now over on TikTok. And I've been able to then go and take my content and cross-purpose it over onto Instagram. So my Instagram has gone from like 3,000 followers to 30-some thousand followers right now.
10x.
I 10x'd it, right? Because of my content over on TikTok. So what I would say is if you want, TikTok is definitely the place to go the most viral. It's really hard to convert leads though into sales, into team builders, all of that, right? Because it's not really as social. You don't build that like, know, and trust factor. Right. And with everything that's going on with TikTok right now, it's probably best to get them off of that platform and onto your IG or onto your Facebook. Or for me, what I did is I just started last week a Facebook group to help people on mental
Ooh.
health, because that's my entire TikTok channel, right?
Hold on, but you just started this Facebook group last week?
Just last week.
I love that. Cindy just started one. I know I've had, a bunch of people on here, like a lot of people, and it's different than an ATM group, right? It's for the
Oh,
purpose,
totally different.
right? It's for the purpose of like building up your, influence and really helping people, not necessarily like a pitch group, right? Where
No,
like ATM is more of like, hey, we're adding you to this
business.
group. So yeah, exactly. So
No.
talk about, before we get into that, talk about what you said. I want to clarify this. Your Instagram is 10x, and you said because of TikTok. So are you like getting a lot of attention on Instagram because of Instagram, or are you getting a lot of Instagram followers because of TikTok, and it's like they have the Instagram in your bio?
So what my assistant does is she's taking my TikTok videos that do really, really well, and she's repurposing them over onto Instagram because it's a proven concept, right? So one of the things that I've noticed over on TikTok is when I tell people, first of all, I want to like, when you want to create massive success in your business, what you want to do is you want to really work on your hooks,
Mm,
right? Because short form video is everything.
yeah.
And so I personally have found a hook that every time I do this hook, my video gets tens, thousands of views, right?
Wow.
So I rinse and repeat the same hook. So
Right.
that's tip number one for you guys. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And
How
frame
long
your
did it take you to figure that out though? Because some people get stressed about that because they don't know what should my niche or my brand be. And a lot of these people are not like you and me where they don't have like big businesses. They're kind of getting started. Like, what would you tell that person to figure? Like, should they test something out for like 2 weeks? And
Mhm.
if it's not working, test something. Like, what's your kind of like philosophy there?
So my philosophy is when it comes to your niche, if John were to bring you up here on camera right now, and I'm gonna pick one person in the audience right here, and you've got 10 minutes to come and speak with us. What is something that you want to go and talk to your audience, talk to us about, that you feel confident enough
Hmm.
to share a little bit of information? And when you have that feeling of like, ooh, that kind of excites me, typically that's your niche, right? So you want to make sure that you can provide value to your audience, that it excites you, and that how can you tie it into your business as well at the same time?
Right.
Don't overcomplicate it. Like John said, give it a few weeks, see if it resonates with your audience, see if it resonates with you. It feels good. You want to continue to move on and produce more content, or see if you want to scrap it all together. The beauty is if you don't have influence already, you can try different things and nobody cares
Right.
because you don't have an audience yet
Right.
to really care.
It really is such a good point. I was just thinking that as you were saying it, it's like what's beautiful about TikTok. It's like, when people are like embarrassed by like friends and family, or, we all have those people. Like how many of us are thinking about like three people right now? Like, God, I don't really want to post that because of my father-in-law or because of my, my cousin or my brother or my best friend, my coworkers. I don't want my coworkers. TikTok, a whole new platform. You can be a whole other person over there. You can have some fun and just like topics of conversation. And then Julie obviously figured out like this is the direction I want to go in, and it started popping off. But I don't think I heard you say it. How long did it take you to figure that out? Was it like a couple months? Like, how did you kind of figure it out for you?
It came, my audience started, so it came in a couple of months, right? So it's very interesting. What I have found is women want to be successful, but they have mental they get in their own way, just like
Right.
you were saying, right? They have a confidence issue, their anxiety gets too much, their mental health gets in the way, they're just like overwhelmed,
Mom
right?
guilt, maybe. Yeah, different.
Totally.
Right, right.
Or they get anxious doing the videos or whatever it may
Mhm.
be. So when I started to show up over on TikTok, guys, I used to be a therapist. I can help them. I can help
Right.
you with that, right? And so it took me a little bit of time, but my audience started saying, wow, I like this. And it started to grow. And then I was like, ooh, okay. I did a check in with myself and said, this feels good. I really like this too, right? Because that's really important. Otherwise, you're
Right.
going to have burnout.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I like this too. And so I started to then create more and more content around that. So it took a few months because if you go back to my earlier TikToks, I was all over the place. I was doing the dancing and I was doing the trends and whatnot.
The
It didn't
pointing.
I know, it's the pointing and the this, and like my daughters are like, "Mom, you're cringe," you know.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel genuine and authentic to me, and
Right.
that's where it's really, really important that
Yeah.
you do these gut checks because you're in it for the long haul,
Can you give
right?
me an example of a hook? Like, what are one of your hooks that works well?
So this is, well, first of all, go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you, right? Type in like what are 10 hooks for a TikTok video or short form video. That's going to help you. But this hook for me, I noticed that I had a video that had 7 million views from this hook. I mean, we're talking like I went viral, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then I was like, okay, let me try it again. And I
Okay.
tried the same hook. And it, again, hundreds and thousands of views, millions of views. So my hook is, I'm not sure why nobody talks about this when you're feeling anxious or you're having a panic attack, but it's going to help you significantly. Maybe because it's just too easy.
Mm.
Every time I do that hook, right? I rinse and repeat, whether it's on Instagram or it's on Facebook, my reels get thousands of views.
What's so exciting about this, it might take you, like you said, months, but once you figure it out, it's like you crack this code. It's like a
Yep.
cheat code. You guys remember video games? Remember anyone ever play Contra? Up, down, left, right, select start. It's like a cheat code, right? Some of you, so like Cesar Rodriguez and I laugh about this because he's like the only other person I know that he's like, do I know that cheat code too? We grew up in the 80s, but it's like the cheat code, right? Once you figure out the cheat code, you, like you said, you just, and people will say this though, this is actually interesting because I love it. But then on the flip side, people are like, yeah, but so you're just saying the same things over and over again?
No, I'm saying the same hook over and over
Boom.
again.
Exactly.
I'm saying the same hook, different content. So it
Right.
goes hook, content, like and follow.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to ask for the like and the follow and the share. And then, so what I have found personally is I do hook, why it works, like and follow, and then the actual tip.
Mm.
Because you want them to get the longevity, like you get more views the longer the video, the viewer watches your video. So if
Right.
you can catch them in the hook, tell them why it works, go for the like and follow, and then go for the actual tip. It has been a genius move for me.
How long are your videos typically? You have an
TikTok TikTok likes longer videos. So my
interesting.
videos are about a minute and a half, and those are probably even short for TikTok purposes.
Right.
But if you're in the creator fund where they pay you, they have to be over a minute. So I do go over a minute
Oh,
to get
really?
paid.
They have to be over a minute to get paid. I never knew that. Wow.
Yes.
So interesting. And that's what's beautiful about TikTok too. You can monetize. You
Yep.
know, once you build that following, like you can have the TikTok shop. How many do you need for that?
You need 5,000 followers for
That's
TikTok
it.
shop.
Yeah. So, and then you can start selling stuff on TikTok shop. You can, like you said, then you can build this kind of like know, like, trust following. Then you get them to follow you on Insta, join in a Facebook group. You can ATM them. I mean, a lot of my best recruits, a lot of my customers over the years, it came from those short form videos. You know, they came from live videos. They came from the brand I built. It wasn't me having to go find people. Now, listen, if you're doing both, if you're reaching out and attracting people, I mean, obviously you're going to be that much more profitable. But once you crack this code and you kind of figure out, like, it's funny too. People are like, well, who am I trying to attract? And it's like, write down everything about yourself.
Who
Write
were
down,
you 2 years ago? That's who
right.
you're trying to attract.
Write down your problems. Write down your, life, like kids, age, background, where you from, like all the stuff. Because you're probably going to have the most success, at least in the beginning. Like I think about when I got started in network marketing, I was 20. Right before I turned 21. It was like the month before 21. So guess who I was recruiting? A bunch of like 21, 20, 19-year-olds.
Mhm.
Years later, I got out of network marketing, got back in. I was a mortgage banker. Guess who I kept recruiting? Guess who was like on my team? It's all mortgage and real estate people. Years later, I was attracting network marketing leaders because guess what? I became a network marketing leader, right? Julie's background is a therapist. So she could probably talk about the mental wellness. Now, listen, I know some of us are going to go, oh, they're going to beat themselves up and go, well, I'm not, I don't have that kind of background. I don't have this. I don't have that. Listen, if you feel like you don't have an expertise, you're not an authority in anything, what are you learning? Some of the best advice I got was from Ray Higdon back in like 2015, ILT, Invest, Learn, Teach. So what are you investing your time and money into learning? Turn around and teach the things you're learning because you're kind of taking people on the journey with you. It's why the people that have the most success selling weight loss are the people that are promoting the weight loss right from the beginning, and they kind of take you on that journey of their struggles, and you're watching them transform right before your eyes. It's hard to deny the fact that that's an effective way to attract people. Sometimes Julie and I probably intimidate people, regular people, because they go, I wish I could do what you do, but I can't. I can't do what you do. Right. So there's pros and cons to, being an influencer or being an authority figure. There's pros and cons. Yes, you can attract amazing people. You can also turn off people because they go, I can't do what you do. So
not relatable.
yes, you said it in the beginning, though. This is why it's so important to figure out, like, you want to have that alignment. You want to have that, like, that uh, authenticity to your story and to the kind of person you're going to be on camera. The sooner you get over that and you're not like faking it and being something you're not, the sooner you will start to attract people, for sure.
100%. 100%. Bingo.
What else would you say is working well for people? Is it live videos? Is it something you recommend? Is it, like, are there certain strategies on the platforms that you could share?
So TikTok wants you to be live a lot. It's hard. It's really hard to keep up with that. Like, we're talking live for like hours on end every single day, right? That's a really hard thing for me as a busy mom to do. And so here's what I have found is working is, first of all, making sure that you're consistent with whatever it is, right? And then if you have bonus time to go live, for me, then I go live, right?
Right.
But I want to make sure that consistency is key for everything in my business, because it was funny that you say this, John. Some of my biggest takeaway moments from when I was in Dare to Dream at Dubai was, number one, I use attraction marketing to grow my business, but and that's how I've really grown my business. What would have happened if I was popping the question and having those conversations? I was like, oh my God, I could be like 10x where I am, but I've let attraction marketing grow my business, which is amazing. But if I were doing reach outs at the same time, I would be like John Melton status over here, like, it's crazy. So that was one of my biggest aha moments. The second thing
So there were leaders there that were talking about how they reach out, and you were like, I already know this. Why am I not doing it?
Yep.
That's funny.
Did. And I was like, and here's the other thing. They were like 22-year-olds that were crushing it. And I was like, okay, here we are. This 46-year-old woman is like getting beat by these like 22-year-olds,
Right.
like, we're talking like multiple 7-figure earners. And
Well, they're ignorance on fire, right?
Oh,
They're ignorance on
totally.
fire. And they're just like, I remember when I first got involved in network marketing, around that same age, by the way.
Yeah.
How old
That's
were you
what
when you first got started?
I was old. I started 10 years ago. I was 36.
You're not old now, but still 36, right? You got started when you're 36. Like when I was, I literally was like, I just found like a cave of gold, and I'm going to go tell all my friends to grab a shovel. And they're like, I don't know if you guys have, this is like an old school story, kind of an old school joke, but it was basically like Jim Rohn telling the story how, like, you go out and tell I found a cave full of gold. And they're like, do you know how much shovels cost these days? Like, what? Like, it's a cave of gold. What do you mean? Who gives a shit how much the shovels are? But this is the problem, right? When you're that young and ignorance on fire, like, you're like, are you saying no to this? Are you an idiot? Did you hear what I said? I found a cave of gold. That's literally what people think when they take a look at network marketing at a young age. On the flip side, there is an advantage to being a little bit older, a little more mature, because you're attracting hopefully people that have money and have some, a little bit of influence. So there's pros and cons, but like all my friends that I recruited, none of them had money. Right. But I recruited a lot of people because I was just so damn excited. So if they had to borrow the money, find the money, there, where there's a will, there's a way. But back then there was no social media. So guess what? We had to proactively reach out to people. We had to actually talk to humans that didn't know we had an opportunity until we brought it up. So yeah, if you could do both, whew, that's where the money is.
That's where the money is. But the other thing was the consistency piece, right? If you take 3 steps forward in your business and you're consistent, and then you decide, oh, I'm going to go on a vacation, I'm going to take the week off, or life happens and I'm going to take the week off, you are now like 5 steps back in your business. And so you're always trying to be like, you're drowning and you keep trying to come up for a breath of fresh air,
right,
to breathe. Well, if you're just treading water the whole time and you don't take your foot off the gas, so to speak, right? Like you might go on vacation, but you're still active on vacation. Your
Yeah.
business is going to be 10 times further. So
Mm.
when it comes to social media, the biggest tip that I can give you is to be consistent and put out at least one video every single day. It doesn't have to be perfect. You guys, the videos that I'm telling you that went viral with the 7 million views on it, first of all, was a TikTok shop video. So imagine how many sales I made. I mean, it
Mm.
was a scene, right? Cha-ching. The other thing is I literally just come back from the gym. My hair is a mess. I look horrible. Nadia would be appalled if she knew what I looked like, but it's relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what sells. So I literally will make a video when I come back from the gym all the time. And those videos do well because messy action is better than no action. And I
Amen.
want you guys to put that in the comments. That is huge, right? Messy action is better than no action. Because even if it's messy and you get 1,000 views, that's still 1,000 people that saw your
Right.
stuff that you maybe never talked to before. If you didn't do anything, you got 0 leads coming in.
Now, how often are you going live at this
On
point?
TikTok,
Just
not
live
as
in general. Yeah.
live in
TikTok.
general. Oh, live in general. I do a live every single week.
So you do
I do
once
it.
a week. Do you do like a weekly show?
I do. I did it
Ooh.
right before we were over here. I
Like
do a
Monday,
weekly
Monday.
show on, Mindset Monday.
One device, or are you doing multiple?
Well, silly StreamYards is now like, you don't even, you guys, messy action. Can I tell you what I did today? I thought I was going live over on YouTube because I'm the YouTube girl. So I have one camera over here because I can't figure out how to use StreamYards. I'm not techie. So I've got my Facebook group for network marketers. I thought I'm going live over here on YouTube. You
Right.
can ask, like, no joke. Somehow I did a live reel over on Instagram. I have no idea. I'm like going live. I was like, this platform doesn't look normal. This doesn't look like YouTube. Did YouTube change their formula over here? And I'm like, looking at this being like, I'm so for sure on live right now on Instagram and I have no idea what to do it. Messy action is better than no action. We
That's right.
all make mistakes. You guys, I've been in this space for 10 years. That was a huge mistake. Now I don't have a live over on my YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you just keep going and you keep moving forward through your action and then you
Right.
become like John Melton status. But
Yeah.
we're just not there yet.
Yeah. Yet is the key word.
Yet.
Key to success. And I do think some of you are probably like, overwhelmed thinking about all the platforms and going live and your topic. You got to start small. You have to be okay. Embrace the suck. We talk about it all the time because you're gonna start small. You're gonna start with testing out different I would say 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, test out something. If you're enjoying it, keep it going. Keep it going. Even if you're not getting traction, if you're not getting leads, and you always got to think about like, is this something that empowers, entertains, or educates? If I'm not empowering, if I'm not educating, and I'm not entertaining, why would I post it? You know. Now, maybe once in a while I'll post something selfishly because I want it in my memories on Facebook, but like if it's not something valuable, like why share it? Why share something that isn't going to help someone? And remember, it can't be that, well, it's going to help them if they buy the product. If they buy this thing, that's an infomercial, right? Now, should you be consistent in talking your products? Yes, but you do it in a way where you're incorporating a story. It's based on value. And when we had Ashley Dawes on a couple weeks ago, she was talking about how she used ChatGPT and Canva to create like her freebie, right? Her free download, a free resource. And just that one little thing, she's getting like 50 to 100 leads a day on TikTok. But again, she's going live. She's putting out the content consistently. And now she's got this free group. She's got her download. She didn't have that at first. She had no group. She had no download. She had no idea what her hook was. She had no idea who she was trying to attract. But it was just that consistency, like you were talking about, of kind of like messing it up and figuring out as you go and being okay with like, the struggle bus, right? We're all going to ride it. We all go through it. It's just nature of the beast. But I think one of the easiest things to do is set up a TikTok account and just start creating short videos. You might say, well, I don't have enough followers to go live yet. Yeah. Okay, cool. Every single person on TikTok started the exact same way. But like Julie said, you figure out through your content creation and the engagement, you're watching the responses and the comments, and you're paying attention to like who's engaging on a consistent basis and maybe making connections with them. And you'll notice that people will have questions.
Yeah.
Right? How many of us notice you get questions in your videos, in the comments, or maybe in your stories? And if you're getting questions more than a couple times, like the same question more than a couple times, that's a great idea to create a piece of content for that. And you just do that over and over again until you start getting traction. Now, the other thing is if you're like anti TikTok for some reason, look, Facebook is
Instagram.
explosive also,
Yeah.
right?
My following on
Exploding.
Facebook has gone to 60,000 followers in the
There you go.
last like 2 months, 3 months.
Oh, so that's only in the last couple months.
I had 4,000
Wow.
followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
But again, it's
Short form
about
videos though, right?
through videos. Yeah.
Short form videos. There you
Short
go.
form videos. But again, it's all about I create the content over on TikTok. My assistant takes it, she posts it on Instagram, she posts it on Facebook. So it's not that I'm working all 3 platforms
Right.
at the same time. I'm
Same
doing
stuff.
one video, it's the same stuff, but it's targeting different people. But if it works on one platform, you know it's most likely going to work on the other platforms.
And then here, can we also point this out? This is the beauty of short form videos. So like when I'm on vacation, you're talking about vacationing, like people are like, oh, I gotta still post videos on vacation. Not necessarily. Just post an old video.
Yeah,
Like
repurpose them.
there's so many videos that over the years that we've created, right, Julie and myself, that we have all these videos saved in a Dropbox or whatever, saved in a folder somewhere, right? And our VAs are just posting those videos that if it did well today, it'll do well in a month or 2 months or 6 months, right?
Yeah.
A lot of my posts, a lot of my videos, I mean, how many of my live videos? It's the same stuff, right? It's not like I'm saying things right now that I've never said before. I've said these things in other videos. Julie has said these things. I've had Julie on the show before. We've talked about similar things. It's the same stuff over and over again. So just know that like once you, again, get the clarity of like, this is my niche. This is who I'm attracting, who I'm serving, who I'm helping. And you create some content, that same content, it's not like it's a one and done. That video, you can post it again in a couple months, a couple years. You can use it over and over and over again. That's the beauty of putting the time into creating these videos.
And you recreate the same video that did well. Like if you look over on my YouTube channel, there's so many of the basically the exact same video. It did well. I'm going to remake it. Or my daughters will say, like, one of my anxiety tips is using gum, right? Putting a piece of gum in your mouth. Every time I make that video, it goes viral. My daughter's like, well, Mom, you've already made that video. Yeah, I have. And every time I make that video, I get like 10,000 more followers. So of course I'm going to remake that video.
But isn't it funny too? Like, what? Like, why wouldn't you do that? Like, okay, I figured out
we
something
get
that
in
works.
our own way. We're like, oh, they've already heard that.
Yeah,
Or
they've already heard
know
that.
this. Who's they?
Yeah.
And so, and if you know what, somebody like I've had a few comments that are like, you say the same thing in your same hook, but most of the time, guess what? I want to be like, yeah, but guess what happens to my views when I do it? And so ChatGPT has made it so much easier for us to create content. So this is what I tell my audience. Go and create 10 hooks. Okay. Ask ChatGPT, I need 10 hooks about X, Y, and Z, because this is my niche. And they're going to give you the 10 hooks. And what you're going to do is you're going to go create 10 videos with those 10 hooks. Then go and look at those analytics, see which hook is got the most views, and then take that hook and add in 5 more hooks. Ask ChatGPT for 5 more, right? So now you're collecting data and you're analyzing your content and saying, okay, this hook, now I got 5 more. Okay, this hook did really well. So now I've got 2 hooks that do really well. And now you're going to start creating more content with those hooks. And you're going to maybe add in and test and tweak a few more little hooks, because especially with short form video, hooks are everything. You've got 1 to 3 seconds to capture their attention. Don't introduce yourself. Don't say who you are. Don't go and clout yourself. Nobody cares anymore.
Yep. And not to mention, if they like your video, they're going to go watch more videos, consume more. They're going to see your following. They're going to see your engage. And none of that is really relevant in the beginning anyway. No. None of that is relevant.
You're testing. You're testing.
And what's beautiful, and this is why, guys, look, I mean, some of you might be anti-TikTok. I think you got to get over that, because even Nadia, like anybody I've ever talked to, for the most part, is like, hey, I'm on all the platforms, but by far TikTok's the easiest to create short form videos. Now, there might be a person or two out there saying Instagram, they like Instagram Reels, but most people say TikTok.
The interface is the best on TikTok.
It's the best video editor. I remember Nadia saying that in the very beginning. She's like, TikTok's awesome, but it's actually like the best video editor. But the other thing is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an absolute goldmine. If you're not using that, like, and this is the thing, when someone says, I don't know my niche, I don't know what kind of content to create, I don't know, like, Are you using ChatGPT? The answer is almost always no. So why? Why are you not using that? It's like, imagine having the smartest human in the history of the universe times 100. That's ChatGPT. So literally, you go to ChatGPT, and actually, maybe you give Julie some suggestions for like prompts for people to kind of figure out before they even get to the hooks, how they figure out like how to talk to ChatGPT in a way that'll get ChatGPT to give them suggestions based on who they are.
Okay, so I would say to ChatGPT, and it's funny, Nadia said to me, she goes, think of ChatGPT as your really, really smart, successful assistant. Okay. And they're free. And they're free if you don't want to do like the upgraded version, right? So Nadia told me that. I was like, okay, got it. I got it. Okay. So ChatGPT, I'm a 46-year-old mom who wants to build a niche on social media. My hobbies include X, Y, and Z. Can you give me 15 different niches, right, that I could use in order to build a successful brand on social media? So it's going to populate. Then this I learned from your wife as well, because she's a genius. Ask this question. What else do you need to know? Somebody write this in the comments. What else do you need to know to make this even better? And ChatGPT will respond saying, we need to know X, Y, and Z. So then you go and say, okay, here's X, Y, and Z. Now give me 10 different niches. Boom. There's your 10. Sit with them and say, or if you don't like them, ask for 10 more, but sit with them and say, ooh, I think I could create a lot of content on this. Oh, I really like this one. Ooh, I think I could blend these two together and they would be perfect because that's so me right there. Bam, you've got your niche to test and tweak. The problem is we overthink and then we have analysis paralysis. You don't know until you try. Yeah. And then you sit with it and you see how it feels. Yeah. But if you don't do anything, you're never going to get to the 5,000 followers. It's never going to happen.
Well, it's funny because we're doing this this 6-week challenge, this 6-week boot camp, and it's amazing how much and it's already happening. Like people are asking questions and someone else is popping in going, don't overthink it. Remember what John said. Remember what Michelle said, because this is the common challenge with most of us. That maybe not when you have a big business. You have all these different challenges when you have like a big business, big brand, you got all these different things going on. But in the early days, right? Those of you that have like less than 10 people on your team, less than 100 people on your team, you're not making a full-time income. You're not making a check with a comma in it consistently. It's typically the overthinking. Totally. It's that analysis paralysis. Like, you're not consistent because you're not confident, and you're not confident because you don't take action to build up the confidence, build up the belief. Like it's a very common thing that happens to most entrepreneurs, because the problem with being an entrepreneur, like the advantage is like, the flexibility and you're your own boss and, there's unlimited income potential and all the things. The downside is there's no structure. Like even if someone gives you like, here's exactly what to post and exactly what to do every day, and here's the exact scripts and the formula and all the things, it's still like a lot of it is like you at home by yourself with all your distractions, right? Kids or dogs or cats or husbands or wives or whatever, right? Limiting beliefs, full-time job, all the responsibility. I get it. But guess what? That's how we all started out. We all started out with stuff, with baggage, with excuses. And I remember very early on, thank God I had this hardcore mentorship. In the early days, my mentor, my upline would say, make money or make excuses. You can't do both. It didn't matter what I said, no matter what the thing was, no matter what I came. I'm like, I don't know that many people. I don't have their phone numbers. Nobody's picking up. This guy's not calling me back. I don't have any money. I don't have blah, blah, blah. She'd be like, make money or make excuses. Can't do both.
Yep.
That was it.
Fraser kept saying at the event, blah, 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 me. Blah, 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 me, right? Blame, blah, 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 me. That's what good. We're doing. That's what good. We're doing. We're making excuses. Mm-hmm. And so the difference between John and myself and you guys over here, if you're just getting started, is that we just were consistently building, and we kind of put the blinders on and let go of the distraction and the excuses and the naysayers. And we've all had them, you guys.
Yes.
We've all had people make fun of us. We've all had people poo-poo us, but we had our blinders on And we just continued to move forward and take messy action until we got better on video, till we got better on camera, right? And then
Then one day you're speaking on a stage in Dubai.
yeah, like who would have thought, right? Like my daughters are like, Mom, really? You're like that cool? I was like, yeah, like I'm like kind of cool, you know? But
So cool.
it's about taking messy action. You guys, I look at my videos when I was first started, I stunk at video. How many of you guys have ever taken a course on video marketing before?
Right.
Never, right? But I got through the suck to get to the other side, and I still have room to improve. We all do, right? But I didn't let my suck stop me from moving my business forward. And you know what? And like what John was saying, people relate to you,
Yeah.
right? Then you're like, oh my God, if she can do it and she was really bad, maybe I can do this too. Maybe I can make some extra money for my family. Maybe it's not as hard as I think it is, right? And you share your struggles. I can tell you, my videos when I was in Dubai and I was sharing my struggle of losing my luggage, you guys, I showed up in Dubai with one pair of underwear, like literally single by
What happened?
myself.
What happened to your luggage?
It got lost. Southwest did not put it on the airline on the flight from Denver to Houston, and they couldn't connect it. Oh, it gets worse, right? So then I get to Dubai with literally a pair of underwear. I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm doing. I'm in this like foreign country. And I'm like, okay, I got to go shopping, I guess. But where do you go shopping in Dubai at 11 o'clock at night? Like, I knew nothing, right?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, clearly. Yes, I know, but I didn't know this at the time.
Dubai is the bomb. Yeah.
So then the floods happen, right?
Oh, that's right.
So the floods happened the day after. So my luggage didn't get to me till Thursday. I'm like reined into my.
Oh, so they did. They knew where it was. It wasn't lost. It was just it didn't get. Okay, that's what I was. Because like typically they know where it is. It's just like it didn't get on the next.
It said mishandled. They just didn't put it on the flight from Houston or from Denver to Houston. So then it came in Tuesday night into Dubai, but there were the floods. So I didn't get it till Thursday. You guys, my messy, like I was like literally like, oh my God, I'm so anxious right now. I'm going to Dubai as a single woman, right? I know nothing. My luggage is not here. I'm supposed to be up on stage speaking. I don't have any clothes. Like those videos, because I was real and honest with my audience, have 70,000 views on them. Like I'm like sitting here tapping and doing all the things that I'm teaching, you know, but I'm like, oh my God, this was real. This was raw. Like this was me. And it was so relatable. And everybody was like, oh my God, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I rallied my audience with my struggles.
That's so cool. Isn't it cool how like a bunch of strangers will be so supportive, you know?
So supportive.
It's the best.
And so that's what you have to do. Be real, authentic, share your struggles, share your pain points, because your pain point is somebody else's pain point as well. Don't be messy. Don't be like, like don't, you want to have class at the same time, but bring people on that journey with you. Because if you think about it, what sells right now is reality TV.
Yep.
And this is what I always say. Reality TV is huge. It's been huge for years. You are reality TV. Your audience wants to know what you're doing.
And here's the other truth too. If you don't do this, you're gonna have to rely on prospecting. You'd be just reaching out to people. And look, for some people, you might love doing that. You might love reaching out and just like hitting people up and asking them if they're open. But I think most people that watch my videos are like, yeah, I need that. I need a following. I need a community. I want to be able to capture leads, generate leads. I want to be able to sell to people that are actually like wanting to buy from me. Like they want to, be a part of my communities or whatever that looks like. And I think one of the best things you did was start your own Facebook group. Like, I love that you did that, because at the end of the day, and you said in the very beginning, for those you got on late, she mentioned this, and I think it is a very good point. There is a chance TikTok will get shut down. Now, I hope it doesn't happen, right? But at the end of the day, if it does happen, it's not the end of the world. We're just going to have to figure out a different platform to do the same thing on. I mean, there's Snapchat and Pinterest and there's YouTube Shorts and all these things. But, as long as TikTok is there, I would highly recommend using it, because, again, best video editor, best way to get attention from complete strangers. But if you're only on TikTok, you're missing out, because you can't communicate with them as easily over there. TikTok shuts down accounts real quick. Now, you can build up fast, but you can also be shut down fast. So getting them off of TikTok, whether it's project broadcast, Instagram, Facebook group, capturing those leads, building that community, is something we would highly recommend. And look, it doesn't matter if you're selling, you can be selling insurance, you can be selling real estate, like whatever you're saying. That's not just network marketing. Like you're selling water filters or makeup. Like it does make sense to find people that can benefit from your story, your tips, your products. What we solve problems for profits. That's
Right.
all we do. So talk more about problems, talk more about solutions, and then in turn, you can incorporate your product. It shouldn't be the only thing you promote. But
Nope.
if it's one of your solutions, like Julie's getting all these people that are dealing with anxiety, depression, they're dealing with like a lack of confidence, whatever that looks like, so she can give them some advice. And then also, by the way, I take these supplements.
Yep.
Some of them might be supplements she's an affiliate for, or TikTok shop, or for her network marketing business.
Yep.
So she has these different ways to generate an income from doing this. And this is why building a personal brand is something we've been promoting for a decade. Anything else you want to share before we wrap this up, Julie? And I appreciate you being available. And just so you guys know, if it is you got on late, I asked her like an hour and a half before Monday Monday. Hey, Julie, you want to hop on, talk about what's working on social media? But anything else?
Messy action is better than no action.
There you go. Exactly. You're like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm doing my mindset Monday. I might as well. So anything else you would share for people that really want to get this thing going? They want to start building that know, like, trust on
So
social?
here's the formula. 1 post on social a day, 5 to 7 stories. Sell in your stories. And I'm sure you've talked about this, John, right?
Yeah.
Do not sell in your posts, sell in your stories. Show videos, quick little blurbs of you taking your product, because what's happening is when you've created this audience, they found you from your reels, they're following you, they're now watching your stories, right? They're watching your stories and they're like, oh, I like her. I trust her. What is that she's taking? Right? So don't be afraid to sell, but be selling in the right place, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I love the story selling. It's definitely where you can get a lot more accomplished, because those people are going out of their way to watch like the behind the scenes. That's how you should look at stories, behind the scenes.
Yep.
So smart.
So that's where you're really creating that like, know, and trust, and you're posting the videos and the pictures and the blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I'm going to take one. Oh, I'll take one later. I was going to say, I'm going to take one of John and I right now. I'll post it in the stories. I'll let everybody know what I did today, and then maybe I'll take a picture of me with my product and they'll be like, what's that?
Right.
And so it's letting them into your reality TV show, which is your life.
Right.
Your reality TV show is in the stories. So
Right.
don't be afraid to sell in the stories, with you sharing what's working for you in order to solve the problems that your audience has, those exact same
And
problems.
let's also point this out. And the reason you got to be consistent with your stories also, with talking about your products, or, talking about maybe the same stuff over and over again, because they may need to see that product and see you talking about it 3, 4, 5, 9, 12 times before they're like, and then all of a sudden there's a promo, there's a sale, there's a deal. And they're like, now they're going to buy, now they're going to take action. There's a new product. There's some special offer, and you just, again, dude, I'm telling you guys, like, and because I remember the struggle, I remember being like, oh man, all these other people are crushing it all. And this is what we also think too, like everyone else is crushing it but me. For every one person crushing it, there are dozens that are just like you. But the difference in the crusher and the non-crushers are giving up. They're not. If I go to your page right now, what am I going to learn? What's the value proposition? What do you do? What if I go to your stories, right? If you're just like posting about your dogs, which is good, you shouldn't post that stuff. But if that's all it is, like, how am I going to even know you have a product to sell? How do I know you can solve any of my problems? I don't even see a solution being offered. Anyway, Julie, I appreciate you. You're amazing. Y'all, smash the heart button if you love this episode of Money Monday as much as I did. And if you really loved it, smash the share button, tag some teammates, and definitely definitely follow Julie on TikTok so you can pick up some really great ideas, because she is crushing. She's consistent. And again, she just cracked the code on her niche like a few months ago. This is more recent.
Oh, for sure. I've gone from 120,000 followers to 250 in the last like 3 months. I mean, that's crazy. But
I mean, that in itself is so amazing, because you've been on TikTok for years. I don't want to say stuck, because you said 100,000, but TikTok's weird. Like, you can get to 100,000, like with viral stuff. It doesn't mean you have good engagement. But so to double it in 3 months, that shows you that obviously you tapped into something that's working. But I think that's inspiring because you've been around a while. You've been a big leader for a while.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this isn't like something that, you know, is happening quick for you, but now it is. It looks like it is, but really it's years in the making.
Totally. What's the expression? We're an overnight success story.
Yeah.
It just took us 10 years to get
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
You know. Yes, I'm an overnight success story. It just took 10 years. That's
Yeah.
it. That's
There
it.
you go. There you go. Well, congratulations. I appreciate you. You're amazing. Y'all, again, smash the heart button. Thank Julie. And make sure you follow her. We're going to change the description of the video so that when this is over, you can click on her TikTok and follow her and see what she's got going on. So thanks, Julie. You're the best.
Thanks, John.
Bye,
I
everybody.
appreciate it.